Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be recreating a makeup look that I did for a job a few weeks ago. When I posted this video, I got so many messages about, can you please recreate this look on YouTube? Can you please recreate this look? This is the video that I'm talking about. If it doesn't show up well on the screen, I'll just insert it, but this is the video. And I thought it would be fun to do a little get ready with me doing this makeup look and then also answer some of your questions. All the products that I'm going to be using are going to be linked in the description box below. I might forget to mention some as I'm doing this look just because I'm going to be answering the questions, but I'll try my best to do both. So quickly before I answer any questions, the moisturizer that I'm using is the Moisture Surge from Clinique. I love this stuff. I use it every day. It's my go-to summer moisturizer. First question is, I'm currently quarantined by myself as a 19-year-old. How do you cope with living alone? Great question. So I think, first of all, I'm just someone who does really well living by themselves, being by themselves. Obviously, quarantine hasn't been the easiest thing in the world, but I haven't necessarily been lonely. I just don't really feel like I'm the kind of person who needs to be around people all the time. I've never been that way. I really thrive when I'm on my own. With that said though, I do feel like I've been FaceTiming a lot. During quarantine especially, I feel like I've been FaceTiming way more than usual. So that has kind of filled up my social interaction. Yeah, I guess I'm just lucky that I'm not the kind of person who needs to be around people all the time. I'm not the kind of person that like thrives off other people's energy either. So yeah, I would say if you start feeling lonely, maybe set up like a time every day when you can call your family for a little bit. It doesn't necessarily need to be long, but you know, having that set schedule when you can call somebody or you can talk to your family is nice, and it gives you something to look forward to, especially if you aren't able to see people, you know? I'm about to do my foundation. This is the foundation that I used for that look. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I bought this on a whim, and this was like a really good drugstore foundation supposedly. My shade is 365C and it's called Soft Beige. So I'm gonna just put that on with my fingers first and kind of like rub it in, and then later I go over it with a brush. This foundation surprised me so much. I'm already someone that struggles with foundation. I've just always had a hard time finding a foundation that looks good on me, one that doesn't like make me look dry. I struggle with that on set too, actually, a lot. So when I tried this and I saw how good it looked on my skin and how like even my skin looked, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is a drugstore foundation, but it looks so good. Sorry, I had to grab my brush. So I'm using this foundation brush from Sephora, and I kind of just clean up the areas around my jawline, around my hairline, any like spots that I might have missed with my fingers. Next question is, can you afford a New York apartment just by modeling? And there's another question that kind of lines up with that, and it says, is modeling your full-time job / does it pay well? Like, is that how you pay for everything in New York? So yes, modeling is my full-time job. It's pretty much my only source of income. YouTube does give me a little bit of money every month. There's a fuzz on my camera. So yeah, modeling is my full-time job. It's basically my only source of income, and that's how I'm able to afford my apartment. When it comes to apartments, it really depends on what kind of apartment you have. Like, I live alone, I live in Manhattan, I live in a really good area in Manhattan, so my rent isn't necessarily cheap, but at the same time, I live in a pre-war building. I don't have any like crazy amenities. Although my rent isn't cheap, it's also not like crazy expensive, you know? So it really just depends on the choices you make and the kind of apartment you go for. Obviously, the more amenities and the better the location, the more expensive your rent is. Okay, so I'm gonna just start with my shadow now. The shadow that I'm gonna use today is Satin Taupe from MAC, and it comes in this little eyeshadow tub. I am going to use just like one of my brushes. I'm just gonna use this Mary Kay brush that I have, and I'm gonna start putting that all over my lid. Has YouTube helped your modeling career or hindered it, and how? So I would say that YouTube has helped my career just because it has gotten me certain jobs that I maybe wouldn't have had before, such as video jobs. I did some sponsored videos before, and it actually also helps when you're at castings, because a lot of the times now clients will ask you like, what do you do on the side? Or they'll ask for all your social medias. If you can say that you have a YouTube and you make YouTube videos regularly, clients really love to see that. So for me, it's been really helpful. It's also just a place where clients can go to like get to know me better. Clients can get to know my personality, get to see me as me. Because you have to remember, like, clients don't get to see you or get to know you really well. Clients usually just get to see your pictures, right? And then if they have a casting, that's when they kind of get to see you in person. They get to know you a little bit better. But even at a casting, you usually only have 5 to 10 minutes with a client, which isn't enough time to really get to know somebody. So let's say a client is considering me for a big video job, or they're considering to hire me to do videos for their brand. They can watch my YouTube and they can be like, okay, this is the girl for us, or this isn't quite what we're looking for, you know? So in that sense, it's really helpful. And I also think down the line, it's just gonna be an incentive for clients to book me, especially when my numbers grow. I think YouTube can be very helpful to a model's career. I don't think it would hinder your career unless you put out bad content, or you just show yourself off in a negative way, or you speak negatively about people, or you know, your job. Like, obviously there's a level of transparency you need to have, which I think I portray really well, but I don't do it in a way where I talk bad about people. So you kind of just have to be aware of that. There's obviously always a fine line, and you know, you just have to be mindful of those things. This MAC shadow is actually a little different from what I used on the shoot. I don't have that actual exact shadow anymore. I do really love this MAC shadow though, it's beautiful. One of my friends, she is a product developer for MAC, so she recommended these products to me. So a little tip that I like to do when I'm doing this kind of makeup is I wait to do my concealer after I've done all my eyeshadow and eyeliner, just because you get a lot of residue under your eyes. And it's kind of a pain to have to take off the concealer or like rub off the residue and then redo your concealer. It just gets cakey. So I don't have a problem doing my foundation, but I usually wait to do my concealer until after I've done my full eyes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take a lighter color, and I'm just gonna take that out of this random palette that I have from Lancome, and I'm gonna blend it in at the top. And I'm gonna just blend it in with a darker color to create a little smoky situation. Okay, so now my eyes are blended out for the most part. I am gonna do a little bit of that same color underneath. Next question is, what advice would you give to your teenage self? Always a good question. If I could talk to my teenage self today, I would tell them to believe in yourself, be confident, and I would also tell myself to be a little bit more wary of people and their intentions. Not everybody who is interested in you or who wants your attention has good intentions. This can be with friendships, this can be in business, this can be in relationships. For me, it's been more predominant in relationships. I think if I could go back, I would tell myself to just be more wary and be a little bit more careful. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just like expected that if I would treat them right, or if I was a good person, that they would give me the same back. I think that was my Amazon package that just came. So yeah, as I was saying, like, as cool as it would be to do that, and I guess to kind of give my younger self some advice or some tips. Like, I don't think that I would be who I am today if I hadn't experienced that, or if I hadn't gone through those experiences that taught me that lesson, you know? And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be trusting or you shouldn't want to see the best in people, because you should, you know? Like, the only way to really develop, oh my god, what is going on? The only way to really develop meaningful relationships is to be vulnerable and to open that door of trust. Maybe I should be more clear about what that is. So I'll give you guys an example. I think in my relationships in the past, I've mistaken lust for love. And I'm being super candid with you right now, but I think, like, this is something that I would have wanted to know when I was younger, and I didn't. Like, I didn't know a lot of things about boys or about dating or about anything, right? So I kind of just like had to learn these things over time and get hurt. But I think if I had known, or if I'd been able to recognize the difference between someone who just wants me for what I look like versus someone who wants me for me, I would have been able to save myself some like heartache. If you take away anything from that question, it would be to just take your time and like distinguish the difference between someone lusting for you and someone like loving you. I'm about to go do my waterline. I'm using this, just this drugstore. Ah! No! I just broke it. I literally just broke it. Shit. Now I have to do that. Like, round it out. Try this again. I'm about to do my waterline. I'm just using this L'Oreal waterline pencil. And this is gonna give me like some darkness on the inside of my eye. Did your parents approve of you modeling and not going to college? I love you. I love you too. Yeah, my parents were super supportive of me starting my career and not going to college. You have to remember though that I had already been modeling for such a long time when I graduated high school. So it had already been a huge part of my life. I was already working so much while I was still in high school. So my parents realized, you know, this is a very unique opportunity. She's shown to us that she can do it. Like, I had gone to Tokyo already for 2 months. I had made a lot of money there. Like, this wasn't just something that was like a game. This was something that was actually going to be my career. You never know if this experience is going to come around again if you decide not to take it. So, yeah, my parents were very supportive. I hope this isn't like too distracting, the questions and doing the makeup at the same time. If it is, just let me know and then I won't do it in the future. But, I just put this on the inside of my eye, on the top and on the bottom, and then all I have on my eyes right now is just that MAC shadow and the lighter color from this palette, this one. So it's like kind of like a light shimmery color. And that's all I have on right now. That is done. I'm gonna do my brows now. Do you want to model forever? If not, what other jobs would you be interested in? So I still want to model for a while. I feel like I haven't reached like my peak in modeling yet by any means. I feel like I still have a lot of opportunity, and I feel like I still have a lot that I can accomplish within the modeling career. That being said though, I don't see myself modeling forever. Like, I don't see myself being a mom and being in my 40s and still modeling. I love modeling and I love where it's brought me, but I do feel like I'm getting to a point where I want to I just want to do more. What I've realized over the last, especially over the last few months, because in quarantine I've had a lot of time to think and analyze like what my interests and my strengths are, I've realized that I love all of the behind the scenes stuff. And I actually feel like I learned those things and I realized that about myself in doing YouTube. I know that YouTube is like very small in comparison to video projects and photo shoots even, but I think my long-term career is going to be maybe in a similar industry, or even in the industry that I'm in right now, but working behind the scenes and creating projects, producing projects, just like not being the talent. I just realized more and more, like, I love coming up with things. I love being there from start to finish. I love being part of like the creating and production process. I don't want to say that I don't see myself being the talent, because it would be cool to like have a career where you can kind of do both and sometimes have opportunities on camera, sometimes have opportunities off camera. But I do realize more and more how much I love just like not being the talent. I haven't even had the opportunity to fully explore that road, right? Like I don't have this resume of like production roles or like creative roles, you know, but I do notice that that's something that I'm good at and something that I love doing. So in the next few years I plan to start exploring those kind of roles and hopefully being able to turn that into a full-time career, because I think that that would be really fulfilling for me. Obviously modeling is a challenging job in itself. There's a lot that goes on that you guys don't even see. For my long-term career, like something that's gonna last me a lifetime, I need something that is more mentally challenging. That's a long-winded answer, but that's kind of what I want to do. I'm about to curl my lashes and do some mascara. Where do you see yourself living in the future? I'm not exactly sure where yet. I don't have my mind set on a particular place. I do know that I've always wanted to live somewhere that's not super cold. I grew up having like the coldest winters my whole life in Canada, so I'm kind of over that. So if I don't have to do that for the rest of my life, I would be very happy. So I don't know. I don't know if I see myself living in New York for the rest of my life either, just because I feel like when I have kids, I will want to have a house and a backyard and like a driveway, you know, like I grew up playing outside, my brothers grew up playing outside. So I think once I have kids, I will want to have the same thing. It also depends on my future partner, where he's from, where he lives and what he does for work and stuff. I'm using the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. It's my favorite mascara. I've thought about living on the West Coast in the future just because that's where the weather is nice and, you know, there's still work opportunities there. I haven't really spent much time on the West Coast. I kind of want to spend more time there. Like I said, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on my career. It depends on the person that I'm going to be with. I guess time will tell. But I do want to have a house one day, and I do want to hopefully live in a place that's warmer than here, or warmer than Canada at least. Okay, so I kind of messed up because I said that I was going to do my concealer and I did my mascara first, but I'm just going to add a little concealer now, just like right here, and around my nose, and maybe a little bit on my chin. I'm just gonna use a little small brush to kind of brush that in. I look so good right now. Who is your dream client in the modeling industry? I love these questions. My dream client is not necessarily a specific brand, but I have always had the dream of doing, or having, sorry, a contract with a makeup brand. That has been one of my biggest dreams since I started modeling. So that was kind of a lot. I should have taken a little bit less, but I'll blend it out. So that is probably my biggest dream, is to get like a makeup contract, because it's just amazing. You get to do all these beautiful makeup jobs, you get to do commercials. That's honestly like the dream job for me. Not necessarily because I just love makeup so much, but I love the projects that they do. I love the work that they do. So I guess that's my dream client, or my dream job, is to have like a beauty contract. I'm gonna do one more question. A little bit of blush. This is a Space Case blush. Just a little on my cheeks. Chin. I'm gonna choose one last question before I do my powder. Oh, this is a nice one. Are you a work to live or a live to work kind of person? So, as I get my setting powder and finish off this look, I think that I am a work to live person because I work to enjoy my life. I don't live to work. That being said though, I also feel very fortunate that I have a job that a lot of the times doesn't feel like work. And I guess what I would say to everyone watching this is to find something, or aspire to find a job that doesn't feel like work, so that you can still live your life and enjoy your life while you're working. Because the fact of the matter is, we're going to be working a lot of our lives, and you know, a lot of people, especially young people, I notice, get into careers or get into jobs that don't fulfill them and don't make them happy, and they, you know, end up living for the weekend or living for the summer holidays or living for a vacation, whatever. You know, it gets to be Friday night and then they drink their lives away because they're miserable. So, not to get into a tangent, but I guess what I'm trying to say is life is short and you don't know what's going to happen. So choose something that fulfills you and challenges you and provides for you financially at the same time, so that you don't have to live to work. I know that that's not necessarily possible at every stage in life, you know, also especially when you're younger. I recognize that when you're young and you've just graduated, you know, you have to sometimes do certain jobs or be in certain positions that you might not love in order to get somewhere later. But like, don't be afraid to take a risk and go for something that makes you happy versus something that's stable, you know? I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is like, don't fall into this trap of settling for stability when you know that there's something you're more passionate about and something that would fulfill you more, but is maybe more risky. I thought we were done, but I forgot about lips. So I'm quickly gonna show you guys what I did for lips. I don't have the exact lip pencil that I used on that day, but I have a similar one. So this lip pencil is called Boldly Bare. It's by MAC, and I basically, for this look, all I did was just line it a little bit, just so that it had a little bit of color, and I just slightly filled it in. And then I just put some lip balm, and that was it. So I'm gonna blot with a tissue. And that's it. I'm pretty picky about lips, and I don't really like lipstick that much to begin with, but if I do wear something on my lips, it's usually something that's pretty close to my natural color. So that is the look. Let me take out my hair. So this is the look. I don't know how similar it looks to the one in the video, but pretty much used all the same products and the same techniques. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.